So we're gonna get into the whole escort thing now. So basically, me and Farron last night, I got a background check on Eliza, and it had a lot of information in it. We were going through it, you know, sifting through all the links, a lot of broken links, a lot of checking the archive. And I noticed something when I was clicking through the links. So Farron was like, did she have a Model Mayhem account? And I was like, yes, well, actually she did. Here it is. There's something I didn't notice the first time. So what I did notice was her saying willing to travel. And I was like, that's suspect. Compensation, any was suspect. But what really caught our attention here is her email. Now it says HelenTroyBookings@gmail.com. And Farron laughed at the reference because it's like the Trojan horse, how the war was started. It was over a woman. We went ahead and did a little bit of digging. We were like, well, what is Helen Troy Bookings? And I know now that back in the day in the 2010s, escorting was done via these intricate ways as opposed to just calling an agency. So now it's more like in the 2010s era, well, I'm going to have this weird email and I'm going to email and I'm going to get an auto reply about the girls. You know, they would encrypt it. They would put like certain like watermarks or like of an email or a number, and you do it that way. If you're in the know, you know. So that's how they would kind of do escorting, or at least one way of it in the 2010s. I was tipped off about this in an email about that being the case, and that's how it had worked in that era. Well, Helen Troy Bookings, that sounds a lot like these emails that they put for escorting where it will be like so-and-so management. That's how they would do it. So I was like, okay, let's look into this. So Farron pulls up this website. We're trying to find where this email leads, and we find a Tumblr page, and this Tumblr page is called Helen Troy Modeling, and yes, it is the same one, HelenTroyBookings@gmail.com. So what do we notice first about this? Well, what would an escorting site look like, guys? Would it be like an Amazon page, or would it be more discreet and it's kind of like you look at it and you're like, what's this for? And that's what I'm kind of finding as a common thread is like when it comes to these sex work practices, it's like, what is that? That's kind of weird. You know those stores? Maybe some of you don't know this, but in New York, occasionally you would see a store. And you're like, I'm not exactly sure what they sell or like why they're there. And they'll be like, oh, we're an electronics store. But then they have like no chargers, right? It'll be one of those like very weird type of things that usually end up being some sort of way to wash money, right? So that's the same kind of sketchy vibe I get from this website. It's like, okay, well, what do they mean book a model? An agency would have models to book for clothing, but this doesn't look like a clothing booking agency. Now, does it, guys? So we're gonna scroll down and take a look. Does this look like a clothing booking agency? Like maybe her, okay. But like the rest of them? Does that look like a clothing booking agency to book a model? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it to me. Not only is the layout sketchy and not professional, but also there's some explicit photos here. It's very strange. So it says book a Helen Troy model today on HelenTroyModeling.com. So when we go to that, it doesn't load. I would show you the page, but it has my ISP on it. But yeah, when you try to load the website, it is no longer active. So there's no website there anymore, but there is this page here left over from the Tumblr days. And we can see that you can book these explicitly posed models. And I say explicit, like, yeah, it's not that explicit, but it is sexually implied, right? Like this sort of thing, this one especially, like they're posing the girls in a specific way to sell something. And it's to sell the girls. That's how I feel looking at this. It looks very sketchy. So why is it that Eliza Bleu has the same email for bookings as Helen Troy Modeling? Why are they handling her bookings? If we combine that with this clip over here that Cucy kindly uploaded.
You stood out and said, I'm a survivor of human trafficking before it was a pop culture topic. So I appreciate you laying that groundwork for me and all the folks that worked in the movement to lay that groundwork, so to be there when survivors like myself reach out.
I wanted to say something first, that you said that I'm a survivor of human trafficking. I did say that, but not till later. What I first said was, I'm an ex-prostitute.
Very important moment.
And I had a pimp, and everyone's like, and it's your fault.
So she had a pimp. She's an ex-prostitute. Right?
But we didn't happen. But Annie, we didn't have the language to put to it. We didn't have the language to put to it back.
We didn't have no language to put to it. Clearly still not. But yeah, she's saying we as in them both. So she essentially is admitting here that she has sold sex for money. That's what we know. So if we combine that we know, based on what she's saying here, that she has sold sex for money, that's what a prostitute is, right? There's different categories of it, but generally it means a transactional thing revolving around you selling sex. The point being that the other person gets off to it. That is the intention. It's transactional. She's saying we 3 different times. It wasn't just a one-time slip. It was 3 times. She meant it. So if we're combining what we saw on the Helen Troy modeling website, modeling website, and it's a sketchy website, and they're handling her bookings, and she's saying she has been similar to a prostitute with a pimp in the past. She's admitting that she's had sex for money, essentially. It's a very strong implication. What else would you do? What conclusion can we come to that Eliza did? What other conclusion is there when this is her email right on her Model Mayhem page? And in addition to that, we have the other interviews where she's in the white background and where she says that she denies a booking for $120,000. Remember that first stream where I was like, that's kind of weird that she's calling it a booking? Why did the person posting the video call it a booking in that interview with the white background? Because it says Eliza said no to like $150,000 booking request. So then what does that mean? Helen Troy bookings at Gmail. That is a booking request. So I'm pretty sure this is what she was referring to. Her Helen Troy bookings. And to me, this looks like an escorting site. Except her again. This is like the one that doesn't. But this looks like an escorting site. It's very sketchy. And she also talks about in the interview with the white background, if you go back on my streams and want to watch it, she talks about how she only was serious with one person and the rest she's just, dating. So I mean, she's just fucking around. So if you add all this information together, she has every checkbox of somebody that would be an escort. And also given how she looked in the rap music video, she literally did look like an escort. I mean, she was scantily clothed. She's spreading her ass cheeks in the camera and so on and so forth. And the original Eye Candy music video, which we've seen 100 times at this point, of her prancing around lingerie cupping her ass, we see that video was very suspicious. Why was it that in that music video, Eye Candy Eliza knows? In this music video, it's just her dancing around in lingerie with close-ups, right? So what exactly is she selling here? It just seems like an Eliza body showcase, right? What exactly was she selling when there's no sort of male artist to this, right? There's just her. It's called Wish, so WSHH, World Star Hip Hop. Eye Candy, Eliza knows, executive producer Q World Star. So this is World Star. They own this. From what we know now, they own this. What else is she selling except for herself here? She's not a musician, is she? Is she selling her song here? No. Is there a male musician listed here? I don't see their name here in the original one either. No. It's very strange that this would be out there. Like, it's the same vibe as this page. It's like, this is weird. Like, what are you selling? You get the same energy from this video. You're like, this is weird. What are you selling? My theory, as of right now, after seeing all of this, Eliza Bleu wants to hide her escorting past because she feels it will conflict with her advocate messaging. So she took steps in order to censor anybody talking about this public material that World Star posted. And now you're not allowed to ask her questions about it because she doesn't want people to know. Now, is there a clip of her saying she is an escort? No, but there's a clip of her admitting she prostituted herself. We also see that the Helen Troy modeling Tumblr is a model booking site and has explicit photos. And we know Eliza has Helen Troy Modeling's email as her booking agent, so to speak. In conclusion, in my theory, I think that Eliza was an escort. I think she was a prostitute. And some of you might not know this, but prostitutes, street walking hookers, are also escorts. It actually goes into depth when you look into this about street hookers on Monday being on the street, and on Tuesday they're in escorting agencies. It's not higher class pussy. Okay, it's the same pussy. So there probably is more to that we don't even know about yet. And it makes it very suspicious that she says she was a trafficking victim, right? We do know some prostitutes are trafficking victims, but a lot of her story isn't adding up throughout the interviews, with the Michael Malice interview of her saying she was trafficked because her photos were shown and profiles were catfishing men, therefore she was trafficked. It was a very weird explanation on the Michael Malice episode. We know that her storylines aren't adding up to her age. We went through the timelines. I'm inclined to believe that she's not telling the truth because she has a history of not telling the truth. Look at that. An award for being a professional victim. Woo! And apparently there's a bunch of categories, and of all the categories, she didn't get victim services, meaning, you know, to actually contribute something. She didn't get any of the titles that meant to actually contribute something. Farron pointed this out. She got survivor leader, literally professional victim. That's all she says. That's all she does. She's not survivor leader. All she does is just say, I'm a survivor advocate. That's her job, is to go around and say, I'm a survivor advocate. I'm a survivor advocate. I'm a survivor advocate. That's all she does from what I'm seeing. That seems to be the most of what she does. Maybe she's done little things here or there, but to me, from what it looks like, especially with her housing thing that we know nothing about, that she doesn't talk about, that she has 2 tweets about, it's looking like all she does is say that she's a survivor to me. Did some things get deleted off of Twitter, the CP? Supposedly, yeah. But apparently the system that she said detects something doesn't even work the way she said it does. So that's interesting. And here's the funny thing. She wants to be called like brave and courageous, right? Okay, well then you're gonna get called brave and courageous for what? Like, she didn't name anyone. She didn't really do anything that noteworthy at this point as we're going through it. So where's the bravery here? Because all I see is cowardice. Her hiding behind the Twitter system, cowardice, striking people down, getting their accounts locked, and then celebrating, oh ha ha ha, I'm at an award show about it. She's laughing at it, and I'm supposed to be here like, oh yes, Eliza, I forgive you. I forgive you for affecting my business. I forgive you for using the backs of victims to use them as your fucking pedestal. Yes, Eliza, you are the professional victim. You're so good at being a victim. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that what we all are supposed to do? What about all my viewers here who also got their accounts locked because of it? Okay, so not only did she win a non-award, but let's take a look over here at her speech acceptance. Okay, they gave her a whole intro. They gave her 7 minutes of sucking Eliza Bleu's twat. Okay?
Eliza Bleu,
dry. I don't know if they know. I don't know how they don't know, but let's watch.
She's used this experience to not wallow in the darkness of it, but to rise up and become an advocate for others who are still in human trafficking and those that are seeking to get out. As we all know, the internet has become a playground for traffickers. Some internet platforms refuse to address this issue. Others have done far too little. Effectively, they've created a sanctuary for traffickers. And those traffickers buy, sell, advertise, recruit, and exploit children online.
I know this is going to be boring, but guys, bear with me. Trust me. You want to see this. It is like, I can't believe she posted this. I'm gonna be honest. I cannot believe she posted this. Not only like was it in bad taste to post it, like, oh my God, everyone look at me. I won an award for being a victim. Like, not only was it just in poor taste in general of making it about her as per usual, Miss I'm a survivor advocate. You fucking advocate for yourself. Bitch, please. But you're gonna see what the big deal is about this video and why I'm playing it.
Little. Effectively, they've created a sanctuary for traffickers. And those traffickers buy, sell, advertise, recruit, and exploit children online daily. Many people are afraid to come out. They're afraid of power, they're afraid of money, and they're afraid of the influence of big tech.
Eliza is big tech, but proceed.
Tonight's award winner is a woman whose courage is mightier than a lion. Her voice is louder than a thunderclap.
She has to do, I have to say, like, Eliza Bleu has to go on this grift because she has no talent. Girls, like, it's the same reason why some girls have to do OnlyFans, and especially if it's in supplement to something else. Some girls, it's not to say that every single one is talentless. I'm sure, like, there's even celebrities who, they're booty shakers, but like they do have a talent otherwise, but they need to supplement it because they feel insecure or otherwise. But some people, they really don't have any talent. So they have to show their ass. That's how it is. That's what women do.
Just cut to the heart of the issue. That our children are not safe online because online companies prioritize profits over people and they prioritize money over human dignity and human life. Over and over, the wolves have pounced on Eliza. They have said,
oh, the wolves have pounced on Eliza. Okay, gotta make sure we play up how much of a victim she is. The wolves pounced on her, guys. I can't stand this. Like, this is the type of, she's the type of person when she was a little kid, she would punch someone in the face and then start crying when they punch her back. This is the energy I'm getting. Oh, the wolves pounced you? Oh, really? Can you say that from up there on your Twitter account? You can still tweet on? You mean from all the way up there? The wolves are pouncing you from all the way up there on the pedestal you're on, Eliza?
Crippled, the bravest and strongest of each of us.
Did she feed her these lines? I swear to fucking God. Okay, so this is the important part. I need everyone to listen up. So she just got through 2 minutes of ass sucking, okay? Now listen, after she's sucked Eliza's ass clean for 2 minutes, unknowingly probably, she probably doesn't know, Eliza is a bullshitter. She's trying to play the highlight reel of Eliza's accomplishments.
My words do not do for advocacy justice.
Watch.
Let me show you a few examples of some of the things that Eliza has said.
Oh, I gave you now.
Jan's it.
Oh.
Yeah, it should be on yours, so click forward. It should have.
I don't think he got it.
He didn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. He didn't do a mashup. I apologize.
Okay.
They literally had no examples to show Eliza and her good work and her advocacy for the award they're giving her. They had 0 examples. They had no highlights to put in the reel. And she just posted this on Twitter. Like, guys, look at the good work I do at receiving this award for being a professional victim. Here are her highlights. We got nothing, boss. Anyway, continuing. She posted this onto her own Twitter, guys. I'm in disbelief.
Hey, I know my greatest hits.
Too much good work to cover.
So they were a PowerPoint for you to see with your own eyes. But she has publicly come out and supported very, very much 2 young boys here in Central Florida who were victims of exploitation and child pornography on Twitter.
So this she's going into right now. The example she's giving is going into Eliza claiming she took on 60 cases online, as Courting was saying. So you mean tweets? So she's doing like very low effort work to get by on a technical definition. Pay attention to that because there's a pattern behavior here. What does she do when she goes on interviews? Oh, I have no internet. She doesn't say she has no internet, sorry. She says she has no Wi-Fi. So she's trying to manipulate the viewer into believing, oh, this poor girl has no internet, even though they're literally watching her on the computer. She's manipulating them because it sounds like I'm too poor to afford internet if I say, oh, I have no Wi-Fi, as opposed to, oh, I'm plugged into the Ethernet. It's manipulative. In that same way, she does her advocacy through the cheapest means possible. Now, any sort of advocacy is good if you're helping people. It's good. If you're even raising awareness about trafficking, it's good. But it's the fact that that's her actual title is survivor advocate. She's supposed to be the advocate for the survivor. She's supposed to speak for them, right? She doesn't even speak on her own. She doesn't even speak about how she helps them, really. She doesn't really go into, she doesn't go into her own story. She's supposed to advocate for them. That's supposed to be brave, right? She's not telling shit. She's not even naming names. She's not telling shit. There's no bravery there. She's doing the bare minimum to get by on a technicality to manipulate people. That's what she does, is like on Hotep Jesus's channel, right? When she was interviewed 2 years ago, yeah, you can give me the super chats. And Hotep's like, okay, I'll give half the super chats to Eliza because it'll help survivors. She's like, well, I'm a survivor advocate and it'll help me. She always does these manipulative technicalities to meet a certain criteria, to get away with things, to get things out of people, to manipulate them. It's very interesting, the pattern here. But yeah, that's what I wanted to highlight about the award video. It's another one of those things I skimmed by at first, but then when you go through the second comb through is when you find these damning things. Anyway, on her accepting her award for doing nothing, basically, but bare minimum to get technicalities out of it, even though her entire thing is based on advocacy, her entire main brand is advocacy, doing her fucking house for the victims that she never talks about, and no, I haven't heard anyone say they were helped by it. But yeah, just a reminder in case we forgot. If you grift off of victims and survivors, according to Eliza, you're a predator. Now get this. I could not believe my eyes. You guys remember when Pokimane posted those photos of her crying for attention? She's like, look guys, I'm crying. And she posted photos and she had Sims groveling at her feet. Well, Pokimane, you're gonna have to make some notes and learn from the top grifter, because Eliza's in town and she's posting pictures of her bruises. And it reads, this is what human trafficking really looks like. You bruised yourself to look like this for money at countless survivors and victims' expense. Now, it's so funny she posts that as if like, see, am I a liar now? Meanwhile, in these photos, okay, on the left, she is smirking. She's smiling. She's taking a selfie smiling with this bruise on her nose, which we don't know how she got it. You know what's so funny? She's kind of implying that it's from abuse, but she doesn't exactly say that that's what that is. It's kind of like this theme that we've seen throughout this entire stream of uncovering Eliza Bleu's past, of her lying by omission, being manipulative in her word choice. Because if you see here, this is what human trafficking really looks like. You bruised yourself. She's saying this is what it looks like. She's not saying that this is from her being trafficked. Notice the wording. The same way she did wording for even the most random thing, like I don't have Wi-Fi, while she's in the middle of a stream with Hotep Jesus. And she said in other instances too. You know, she always does this, ooh, woo, I'm so humble thing. That's what Eliza does. Ooh, woo, I'm so modest and humble. Ooh, woo, I have an old phone. She brings that up every 5 seconds. I have an old iPhone. I'm so modest. I can't even afford a phone. Meanwhile, she's doing like 3 different fucking fundraisers at any given time for money, asking people for money on podcasts, which is kind of embarrassing. She's like, how old doing that? It's not even like, oh, she's young and dumb. No, she's like, you know, she's a full-grown adult. She's doing this manipulative wording to tug at your heartstrings, to manipulate you into believing, oh, this poor little baby, this poor little victim, this poor little 41-year-old victim who should know better. She does this. She's very manipulative in her wording. It's not that she doesn't have Wi-Fi and she's so poor she can't afford it over the course of 2 years of doing several fundraisers. It's that she's on Ethernet connection, but she chooses to word it as, I don't have Wi-Fi. So you think, oh, she's poor and can't even afford Wi-Fi. She affords internet, she's just not on the Wi-Fi. So you see this parallel here with the same thing of her saying, this is what it looks like in trafficking when you quote unquote bruised yourself. Honestly speaking, she's probably just like actually telling the truth in that part, for all we know, because she's not being very specific with this. And it's for a reason. It's so that she doesn't feel like she's lying if it's omitting, if it's by omission. But lying by omission is honestly one of the worst forms of lying, if not the worst one, because it has such bad intent. And you know what's interesting on the right here, guys, is she starts off the line with, I'm a hustler too. The hustle just looks a bit different now. You can bring attention and awareness. All welcome to the movement. Oh, really? All welcome to the movement? That expired. That's rotten. Survivors need support now more than ever. If you want to bring awareness, I'll gladly support you if it's done in a survivor-focused way. Yeah, unless you're Brittany Venti. Then you know, it's not allowed. But yeah, that's interesting. Like, even in this photo, she has the caption under it, she's a hustler. Yeah, she's hustling all right. We're all witnessing Eliza Bleu hustle in real time. And you know what else is interesting here? Not only is she smirking in the left photo with the black eye that's, you know, mysteriously got there, that she's not being very specific with. In the photo on the right, she's posing with it, covering the other eye, like Lady Gaga style. I'm posing, kissy face, Oh, look at my makeup on with it, Literally makeup and posing with her bruise like it's a fucking accessory. How is this helping survivors? How is this helping human trafficking survivors, posing with your bruise on the internet? And she gets awards for that? I'm supposed to be like, yay, Eliza Bleu got an award for that? Stop. Literally says right here how she's a hustler. It's right in your face, guys. So would love to know how she actually got that black eye. But anyway. Achoo! Oh, achoo! Ooh, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm right if I sneezed? Is that a spiritual sign? I could not believe this. I was seething when I saw this. Like, she's really gonna smirk and smile and pose with a bruise. Ha ha! survivors, I'm making fun of you. Look how I'm using you. Haha, I'm getting my grift on off of you. Look, I'm just like you. I'm wearing, it's literally like pink face or like black face. It's like she's masking as a victim. Like, haha, see, I can be like you and get the benefits of it. Oh, sneezing means someone's thinking of you? Oh, maybe it's Eliza. Maybe she's watching. Really is survivor stolen valor at this point. I'm just telling you guys, as someone who actually has been in abusive relationships where I was physically abused, I would have never done this, ever. So that's how I know that this is some bullshit. That's how I know. This is disgusting. To mask around parading your bruise for fucking validation attention points. Get some skills. How about instead of like opening your ass cheeks, you fucking develop some skills so you don't have to grift off of survivor victims. Anyway, enough of this abhorrent behavior.